today I'm going to show you how to make this bag. What you'll need is a Ziploc bag, two different kinds of paper. I'm using this one I found in a magazine and my local comics. You're going to need some tape. Packing tape is preferable. And then some kind of old cloth you don't need. This is just a t-shirt I outgrew. So let's get started. Alright, so the first thing I did was I laid down my Ziploc bag and I put it on top of my fabric and I kind of figured out where I want to lay it down. Now because we are using a Ziploc bag, you kind of are forced to have this length of an opening. But you can kind of determine how deep you want the bag to be. So I want my bag to be this deep, so I'm doubling it, and then I'm just going to cut out this whole rectangle, and I will show you. Alright, so I cut out my fabric, and I'm going to put that to the side with my Ziploc bag, and I'm going to make the paper strips, and I'm just going to cut inch-long strips all the way across with both the magazine and the comic strip, and then I'm going to kind of figure out what my design was. Okay, so after cutting out my comic strips and my magazine strips, I'm going to weave them together. So I already did one right here. As you can see, I start over, under, over, under, over, and under. So that kind of looks like this. So you go under, over, you go under this piece, then over, and you just kind of continue that on through the rest. Alright, so this is what it looks like after I weave the two pieces together. Now for the ends, I kind of folded them like this. So I'll undo this side to kind of show you. So I did this for all the four corners. So I have the pieces, it's laid out like this. And so I lift up this side and I tuck it underneath. Make it a crease, like that. And then I get this side and I turn it underneath. Okay, so before I head over to the sewing machine, I'm finding little ends like this where I can tuck underneath. And so I'm just going to flip it over, find that side, tuck it over, fold it down, and then I'm just getting a little piece of tape and taping it down. You don't have to do this step, but I just find it's a lot easier because everything is a little bit more secure. Okay, before we sew this together, I have the top side. So this is the outside of the bag. I'm going to flip that over, and I'm going to put my fabric on top. Now you want to make sure the side you want to see is on top. So this side I have like a little bit of markers and stuff, so I'm going to make sure that's on the bottom. And then I'm just going to go and sew the top part. You could sew all the way around, but I'm just going to focus this side and then this side, and I'll come back in a sec. After sewing the top and the bottom of my bag, as you can see the middle is all open, I am going to fold this over like so and sew the sides. So that's why. Finally, our bag is starting to kind of look like a bag. So I'm just going to trim around the edges. I have this scissors with these kind of cool zigzag shape, so I'm just going to go around and trim the sides. Now we get to finally fold it over. Now this is kind of the scary part for me, is that you want to be as delicate as possible. So I would just recommend just carefully going around and hoping for the best. So this is what the bag looks like after I folded it inside out. As you can see, this part right here is a little bit off, but it turned out really well. I suggest when you're trying to unfold it is, like, again, just be really, really careful. Newspaper is something that can easily be torn. So instead of having just regular newspaper, you can always try a paper that's a little stronger. Okay, so from here, we're going to get our Ziploc bag, which fits just nicely on top. So again, I'm just going to get my scissors with the cool pattern, and I'm just going to cut this bag a little bit. So so we don't need that. So it's going to look like this. Alright, so you're almost done with making your recyclable bag. The last thing you need to do is get your packing tape. Just get a nice huge strip like this, and you're just going to cover it on top of your bag. I just find it's a lot better because it makes it waterproof now. Otherwise, the paper is just going to get wet and it's just going to get dissolved and it's going to be a mess. So I'm finally done with your bag. When you open it, you have the green inside lining, and then it zips up. It turned out pretty well, but just as a side note, I recommend not using newspaper for your first time, only because it is very delicate and it can break really easily. But if you like to, it's a great way to kind of use up old paper and make kind of a cool bag.